Where is video?
Huh? Video, yeah, video. Hello. Yes, yes, very good road.
Fuck video.
Huh?
Fuck video.
Video of the road. Ah.
Your photo. I never want to have the range of the name right now. Are you telling me?
There is no.
Huh?
Fuck video, no.
What?
Fuck video.
What video?
Fuck video, fuck video.
I don't know what you're saying.
Porn movie.
Yeah. Ah.
You want to watch porn movie?
No movie. Bad film, huh? Porn. Ah, no porn.
I don't know. I'm porn movie.
No hero, but I don't know your beautiful pattern.
He's laughing.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh man, this road is.
Very laughing.
Whoa.
My baby is sleeping.
Cool.
Yeah.
She's tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello everyone. Welcome to fourth episode of our Nepal travel. Today we're gonna talk about Sherpas. I thought maybe it would be better that I speak about them earlier, but it's okay. I mean, I just had to make an introduction, and I think this episode will be just dedicated to Sherpas. Who are Sherpas and what they do and what they want. I know about Sherpas from my history classes in the high school, and for me at that point they were just carriers, the guys who help white people to climb Mont Everest. And related to that, there is other things which I discovered while I was in India, how I don't call it a brainwashing, it's just that like less or lack of information. We are not informed properly. That's all. So the second time I came to Nepal and I met my friend Lucia and her husband Lama, Sherpas, and I start living with them for 2 weeks. I start meeting those people, and then I start removing my, no, not prejudice, it's just like lack information, like I didn't know who they are, and then I start understanding more about them. 2 weeks are not enough, of course. I cannot say I met the people after 2 weeks. So who is Sherpas? They're ancient people who came from Tibet. They escaped Tibet, and at some point they got a refugee in Nepal. That was a long time ago. I think for the details with the dates, you have to look online if you have interest. I mean, I'm not the guy who can actually follow much of the dates, like when this battle happened and when it's this guy's birthday. I don't memorize, sorry. I memorize the feelings, and for me this is what I want to talk about. So long time ago, from some reason, they escaped Tibet and they found a place in Solukhumbu. At that time also Nepal state was formed, and Nepal government gave them that hills and mountains around Mont Everest. Imagine, I mean, it's not very certain why they escaped Tibet. It must be some reason. And it was approximately maybe at the time or maybe later when the Buddhism came. Because as far as I know, and Sherpas told me, before Buddhism there was a lot of things happening there, and also they told me there was some amount of cannibals among them. But somehow Buddhism at some point changed the page. And I think everywhere where religion came, at some point it changed people. in a good way or a bad way. I don't know. It's not about me to judge, but a similar thing happened to Slavic people, like Serbians, Russians, Ukrainians, Czech, etc. Before the Christianism, they were pagans. And if you check a little bit about Slavic mythology, you will see so many interesting things. But when Christianism came, it changed, because Christianism said there is only one God, and Jesus Christ there is to tell you about it. And still, the Orthodox Church, when it started to convert people, they also had to implement and keep some of the pagan customs, because they knew it would be easier to get people into it. Otherwise, it will be very difficult just to shift people from one spot to another. Sorry, there was some car coming. It's horrible. Like, there is one guy here. He need like half an hour to park or unpark car. Anyway, I don't know what was there. Maybe it was really wild in Tibet. At some point, Buddhism kind of took over that religion. That area. It was same what happened in China at some point, in Japan, but in Japan it became like a Zen Buddhism, etc. Chinese had their own stuff, Confucius and Lao Tse. So what happened then? They escaped, and they took the land there. They got the land in Nepal, and this place actually became like a tourism area, especially when people start climbing Mont Everest. At that point, Sherpas, they become the carriers and guides, and well, it's almost impossible to climb Mont Everest without them. There is few mountaineers which are really skilled, and also maybe they got some, I could say, higher human advantage for climbing, but generally you need Sherpas. Anyway, Mont Everest become like a hipster thing now. Like, if you have a little bit more money and you think you're in a good shape, you will try to go to climb to Mont Everest. So the one thing which I already told you, that maybe at some point they were also having a cannibalism there, and maybe they were living really wild. I don't know what they were doing there. Then something happened. I mean, first Buddhism came, then something happened, they escaped, and they took the areas there. But another thing which Sherpas told me is that by some research, which I don't know is it truth, Sherpas are one of the oldest, maybe the oldest human race in the world. I don't know, is it true? Every country in the world you will find someone who said our people are the oldest one in the world and whatnot. But from some point of view, I think it can be possible. I don't know much about genetics. I just start checking what gene is there, and what is the ethnic groups. So many varieties. I mean, when you go to this Asian part, also when you go to India, you will see there is so many varieties of ethnic groups. Very hard to catch. Even now here, like, it's when you check your DNA, you will see you have many. You're mixed. I mean, how many people is now pure race? But some people still dream about that, the purity of the race. I don't know, but well, I don't care actually. So when I start living with Sherpas, I start figuring out they are really the special at some way, because genetically they're programmed to survive. I told you in the previous video, I learned few things about the place. I understood it's a specific place. There is many dangers. I mean, if you come as a tourist with a guide and you go there and then you come back, it seems easy, no. But when you stay there and you understand, you have to live with them, you have to take some risks. You understand this place is very unsafe. Also imagine the people who went from Tibet to Solukhumbu, look at the map and check the area which they have to pass to reach the safety. They have to go through Himalayas. in one of the most unwelcoming places in the earth, and to walk, to cross those mountains, to climb, to fall into the cliff or to be, you know, over flooded with the snow, whatnot. I don't know. I just admire them. So at some what I seen there, few samples. One morning I wake up and there was snow outside, and I went outside and I saw one of Lama brothers cleaning the snow with a mop, and he was in slippers, sandals. I said, dude, what the fuck? Like, you're not cold. And few days later, there was few guys came, guests, and there was still snow, but they just put a tent behind the house, and they just sleep in the tent, in the sleeping bag. And like, what? Like, what the fuck? And the third example, one day we went to the hills with the van. So we went behind, and we were crossing, we were going through some small village, and we stopped because this driver was chatting with another guy from the village. And then I was watching one Nepali woman. She was washing the hair. The temperature was below 15. I could say between 10, maybe let's say 10 to 12 degrees, quite cold. And the woman was washing the hair outside in front of the house. And I was just watching like, fuck, man, and like, you know. And at some point, when she was finishing, I thought, okay, she's gonna take a towel and just, you know, squeeze the drops or wipe the hair. But that didn't happen. She just took the hair, she squeezed it, some water fell, and she went to do some other work. And I said, what the fuck, she's going with the wet hair in this temperature. For them, it's normal. And I said, okay, but for me, it was not. And one of the things I told you in the previous videos, that Sherpas, they don't heat the house. No matter what temperature is there, they just don't heat the house. And I fucking froze for 2 weeks. I didn't took one shower. So they're specific. And now, as I said, you can check online and you can see the history and how they escape at Tibet. Most of them are Buddhist. Okay, most of them are Buddhist. And then in the house there was no meat. Also, Lama is a priest, and he followed this very specific school of Buddhism. Before I used to study Buddhism, but now when I saw what kind of meditations and approach they have, for me it was totally new. Also, you know that in those places there is a lot of, I could say, meditants who also practice Naga, lots of Nagas, Naga sadhu, who practice this technique that you can warm up your body in the cold weather. So you can find those techniques there, and the other techniques. Also, my friend, she studied healing, Tibetan healing, for 3 years in Tibet. Now Tibet is very complicated area. It's highly spiritual place. It's like highly spiritual place. Also, it's plateau. It's very high, and there is a lot of spiritual energy there, and that's why the Chinese are trying to take it over. Tibet was always independent. It was always free. It should be free, but Chinese government don't agree with that. They want to take it over, even if they cannot get much from that land in the sense of resources. But as the Chinese are communists, they don't want to have any kind of spiritual, I could say, option for people in that area which they consider it belongs to them. So what I can say about that, it's also not easy to go to Tibet nowadays. Before it was more easy. Sherpas are genetically built to survive in the mountains in the cold weather. But what is amazing about them, they are so careful. Like, I cannot explain to you how careful they are, helpful towards guests. Because when we go anywhere with them in those 2 weeks, they are very good guides. Okay, it's also funny. Sometimes you see a group of tourists, you know, like some Americans or whatever, dressed up in this like almost like a military equipment, like, you know, boots and everything. And then you see the Sherpa guy chilling in the slippers, la 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 la, you know, like in the some light jacket, in like it's his home. And white people are coming there like, you know, like we have to be fully equipped because it's totally normal. So they really take care about the guests. You know, they really take care, because also for some people they're like idiots. They don't understand that after some amount of altitude it can be dangerous for them, because generally after 5,000 meters you can start experiencing the breathing issues. And when you go 6 or 7, you know, most of them have to wear the masks. So Sherpas even can go without the masks on Mont Everest, but for them it's like a home. For them it's a holy mountain. And as I said, in the house they're all practicing Buddhism. They don't eat meat. And then when I wanted to eat meat, I had to go down to the village, which take me like 30 minutes. And I had to go to some little cute restaurant, and then I was eating beef. But in general, they don't eat meat if they're Buddhist. So what more I can say about Sherpas? They have their own life, they have their own culture. Like everywhere else, if you want really to meet culture of other people, you need to find a way how to implement it to community and to become at some point part of that. You cannot come fully, because now also there is a gap. You know, many tourists are coming there, and unfortunately the Asians see white people as a tourist, and at some point they see them as a, I could say, I don't want to say in a bad way, I will say like they're their livelihood. Okay, simply they make money from them and they provide food for their family. Because in that area they do grow some food, but simply because of so many people coming to Nepal, simply they choose to be guides because they're good in that. And this is simply how it goes. But as I say, from the beginning of this, when I learned in the school about Sherpas and Nepal, I remember there were guides and they carry things, but this is not what they are. They are very specific, interesting ethnic group, and their culture is amazing. And I like to see everything what they do. I was following, like listening what kind of music they listen, the food that Nepalis make and Sherpas, it's fucking amazing. It's beautiful. It's really tasty. It's nice. So many soupy things, noodle and yak cheese, smoked yak cheese. If you have an opportunity to go to Nepal, buy 10 kilo of smoked yak cheese. I mean, yak is a male. There is another name for the female. It's not like yak cheese, but they say it's yak because foreigners cannot memorize a female name, so they say yak cheese. Yak is a specific bull which actually have to be in very high mountains because he have big fur and he don't feel well below 4,000 meters of altitude. So yeah, that area Solukhumbu is very specific, and I just scratch. So I just gave you a little bit, and this is like 0.0000001% of who are Sherpas, but this is my sensation. They are very lovely people. They really take care of you, not because you came there to leave the money, because they're like that, and they know the place, and they have their own cultural secrets. They have their own point of view. They have their own thing, I could say. They have their own alcohol, which is really nice, and very friendly. I remember once when we were a few days before, I think we will go back, they made a party, the village party. I think I went somewhere with some guys, and then I came back and the garden was full of people, like 10, 15 or 20 people from the village, and lots of females were there, and all of them were dancing. And that they have very strange music with some strange rhythm. It's like I cannot repeat it, but you can just check Nepali folk music. There is something very repetitive and also really catchy, like something like that. And you know, there was a lot of them dancing, like small and kids and grown up. And then I started dancing with them, and then actually they tried to introduce me to one female to, you know, get us together. And it was really funny, and I was laughing a lot, but it was so cute. So it's beautiful. They're beautiful people. I love them so much. As I speak about everything, I always talk about good things and bad things. I talk about all the manifestations of something. If I go to one place, I want to see the best of that place and the worst. Also, the people are people, okay? They're all, they have potential to be very good human beings or to be very bad, or to show or to kind of express the colorfulness of that. I don't have dreams about people that I go to some place and I'm gonna just see that place. Everything is amazing. But this is some stupid dream that people have, similar like maybe this I could say romanticization, like when people is romantic, you know. But I say what I want to say, and let me finish today. It's like 15-20 minutes. I don't want to people are bored. If you have opportunity, go there, meet the people, and you will see there is really a new side of humanity there. Like there is a new thing really to discover. See you later, guys.